They've told us nothing so far. They said no flights today, maybe tomorrow, but you know, there's people on their flights tomorrow as well, so we might have to get with another company to get to our destination. So it's unclear for now.
Again, this is a view from a little lower than the WB57 we were seeing.
Just a beautiful sight as Starliner makes its way to the sands of New. You're seeing the ground there in your screen. Touchdown. Starliner is back on Earth.
The closely watched U.S. jobs report out Friday showed that businesses added fewer jobs than expected in August, while the unemployment rate ticked down from the prior month. Non-farm payrolls increased by 142,000 jobs, according to the Labor Department, less than economists polled by Reuters had expected. But the unemployment rate, which had risen for 4 straight months, nudged lower to 4.2%. The data suggested the Federal Reserve had a green light to begin a round of interest rate cuts later this month, as the central bank looks to keep inflation at bay while not causing too much of a labor market slowdown. One chief economist told Reuters that because the report showed the labor market cooling at a, quote, measured pace, the Fed will likely cut interest rates by a quarter point. Financial markets on Friday priced in about a 60% chance of a quarter-point rate cut by the Fed and about a 40% chance of a larger half-point cut. The August employment report showed job gains last month were led by the construction sector, followed by healthcare jobs. Average hourly earnings also increased slightly more in August than they had in July. Still solid wage growth continues to underpin the economy by boosting consumer spending, which accounts for more than 2/3 of U.S. economic activity.
Qualcomm has explored the possibility of buying parts of Intel's chip design business, 2 sources exclusively told Reuters. The sources said the move comes as Intel looks to drop business units and sell off other assets. They said its client PC design business is of major interest to Qualcomm executives. The mobile chip maker has been working on plans to buy pieces of Intel for months, according to the sources. They added Qualcomm's interest and plans have not been finalised and could change. An Intel spokesperson said Qualcomm hadn't approached the chip giant about a potential acquisition and declined to comment on Intel's plans. Qualcomm refused to comment. The US tech firm is known for chips found in smartphones and counts Apple as a customer. Intel reported a terrible second quarter last month, which saw a 15% reduction in staff and a pause on paying dividends. Executives have grappled with how to continue to fund the company's manufacturing plans and generate cash. Its PC client business revenue dropped 8% to $29.3 billion last year, amid overall weakness in the PC market. Intel's board is due to meet next week to consider proposals from Chief Executive Pat Gelsinger on how to trim operations and save cash.
A plane carrying the first batch of Mpox vaccines landed in the Democratic Republic of Congo on Thursday. It's the epicenter of an outbreak that prompted the UN to declare a global public health emergency. A European Union official said the first delivery consists of 99,000 doses manufactured by Bavarian Nordic. They were donated by the EU. He said another delivery on Saturday will bring that total to 200,000 doses, with the aim of getting 566,000 of them to wherever needs are greatest in the region. A lack of Mpox vaccines in Africa has hampered efforts to stop the sometimes deadly disease. The delivery in Congo should start to address a huge inequity that left African countries with no access to the 2 shots used in a 2022 outbreak, while they were widely available in Europe and the US.
Aujourd'hui, nous avons reçu 99 100
Congolese Health Minister Samuel Roger Kamba Malamba says authorities will start planning who will get the vaccine and where, with the aim of prioritizing what he called hotspots. Congo has said it will launch its vaccination campaign on October 8th. That will give it time to carry out an awareness-raising campaign to overcome mistrust in some communities.
Volvo slashed its margin and revenue ambitions for the second time in a year on Thursday. It comes a day after the Swedish car maker, which is majority owned by China's Geely, gave up on its electric vehicle-only target due to the impact of tariffs and lower demand for EVs. EU, US and Canadian tariffs on electric cars made in China have made market conditions increasingly difficult for automakers. Overall demand for EVs has also slowed, partly because of a lack of affordable cars. Volvo Cars lowered its targets for operating profit margin, excluding joint ventures and associates, to 7 to 8% from above 8%. It also scrapped a sales goal of up to $58.4 billion, instead saying it expected to outgrow the premium car market. Volvo walked back margin and revenue goals on another occasion earlier this year. In January, it gave up a target for annual sales of 1.2 million cars annually by mid-decade, which was first announced 3 years ago. Shares in Volvo Cars were up 3% early Thursday, having fallen sharply the previous day on news of the abandoned EV target.
This district in Budapest is holding a 2-week referendum on short-term rentals and whether they should be banned. It would be the first of its kind in one of Europe's most popular tourist destinations. District Mayor Thomas Soprini says the city's popularity has justified asking locals about their impact on housing affordability and quality of life.
You cannot sit idle and wait for something to just happen. More and more flats are becoming Airbnbs. It's true for all the districts.
Eurostat figures show almost 719 million guest nights spent in the European Union last year were booked via online platforms such as Airbnb, Expedia Group, Booking, and TripAdvisor. In Central Europe, Budapest was the most popular for short-term stays, with 6.7 million guest nights. That's ahead of cities like Vienna and Prague. Real estate website Ingatland.com said a ban in the 6th district, where apartment prices are 22% above the Budapest average, could temporarily curb long-term rental prices. Locals were mixed on the proposal. Gabriel Siklosi says Airbnbs should be regulated, put within limits, but not banned. While Mathilde, who didn't give her surname, says short-term visitors cause problems. But there are also worries about the effect on local businesses catering largely to foreign tourists. This owner of a ruin bar, popular with visitors, says local councils, lawmakers, and organizations should deal with the issue, but not go so far as a ban. Voting ends on September 15th, and if adopted, a ban would start from the beginning of 2026. The outcome could have wider implications, with Prime Minister Viktor Orban's government mulling regulation on short-term rentals, which the economy minister says contributes to a housing shortage and high prices.